The first one, of course, is just because of the nature of the game. Captain of the side, will be coming out when they chase, keeping a close eye on things from behind the stumps. And if you have a look at his averages, I mean, to have maintained that, a 50 plus average throughout every season. Maybe the strike rate dipped a little bit from that season one, Shaun, but nonetheless, KL Rahul is an impact player, and at a match like this, you want him to come up and maybe score 100.
Yeah, that strike rate of 160, that was the year when everyone had sort of said, well, maybe a bit subdued. He needs to start playing out of his game plan. And he showed everyone he could do it. And then once those sort of critics were put aside, then he concentrated on just being consistent and playing his role. So, I mean, consistency is the word, isn't it? As the captain of their side at the top of the order, that's been the key. That fantastic seasons that they've had with Mayank in combination have been brilliant, and a lot of their success has come from those two, and then when they've had Chris Gayle at number 3. So it's a massive part of their game plan for those two. And you do think Rahul's almost so comfortable with that role now, whereas in the years gone by, even with those impressive facts and figures, he was maybe just working things out. He's not working things out anymore. He's the finished product. And he's a real banker for their team and for my pick.
Are there going to be 9 other franchises with an eye on KL Rahul Joy, or do you think of him as retention material?
The 100% retention material. The only way that he cannot be retained is if he says, "Look, I've had it," and you can choose to turn around and tell your franchise, "I don't want to be retained. I want to go into the auction." It's not the easiest thing in the world to do, but you can do it, and I think. God knows how KL Rahul will play, because the only way that can happen is if some other franchise, 2 or 3 franchises talk to him and said, "You know what, if you're up and out in the market, we'll bid whatever it is required to get you." But I think Punjab would be stupid to let him go. He's just such a good player. He's just such a strong part of their franchise. There's lots in Punjab that needs to be fixed. None of it has to do with KL Rahul and Mayank Agarwal.
Fair point. Solidity at the top. That's going to be the pair that are going to come out to chase. Probably a 50 partnership. Every time they come out to bat. Today they'll need something of that nature. Shaun, just one word on KL Rahul. As you said, in terms of putting those critics aside, he's the kind of player when he started out in that particular season, much like Surya Kumar Yadav, who could biff that first ball for 6 and let the opposition knows he's around. Is captaincy sort of not allowing him to do that?
It may be a little bit, but I think he's too much of how do you put it? An educated cricketer with a full understanding about why take those risks if I can make it up later. Why take those risks at the start of an innings when I can be consistent and always give a good platform and maybe sacrifice a small scoring rate. I think if a particular match, and when you get into things like playoffs, for example, and now you have to up the ante, that's when you step up and you do it. And you play a little bit out of your game plan because the team requires it. But I think what the team's required from particularly in that Punjab 11, is for him to be consistent, and he's answered that and done it well.
No, I can tell you one thing, Gautam. I'm saying, look back at him and you say, same opening pair, okay? Tell KL Rahul to go into bat and say, after him and Mayank, there's 1 of 2 of, say, Maxwell, De Villiers, Williamson, Pollard, those kind of players. 2 such players, and see the way he plays after that. He's playing this way because he's got nothing behind him. He's playing this way like Gavaskar used to bat during the 70s, where he knows, I get out, Vishwanath gets out, the tail comes in. Next thing you see is the spinners warming up for India. That's the problem with KL Rahul. How do you play with freedom when you have nothing behind you? And none of the other batsmen have given him any consistency behind at 3, 4, 5 and 6. That's why Rahul is at the strike rate he is.